Welcome to the Gus Alva Perspective, a videocast that is encompassed to take a look at the mindset of gratitude and abundance over the mindset of fear and scarcity. Completely diametric difference in seeing the world. The topic that I'd like to touch on today is going through the motions. I had a phenomenal conversation with my 12-year-old daughter today, and she made me think of this idiomatic expression, going through the motions. Now, this idiomatic expression basically means performing an action or participating in an activity without enthusiasm, passion, or genuine interest. It really perked my ears when I heard her say that, because ultimately, when we hear that phrase, going through the motion, it implies a sense of going through the required steps or motions without actively engaging or investing oneself emotionally. And the big question here is, should we be involved emotionally in the things that we do? There's great examples where you want to be dispassionate and not necessarily be fully immersed emotionally when you're involved with maybe some sort of a life-saving endeavor and there's a need for additional focus. But for the most part, if we're doing something, the phrase going through the motions can also be utilized to describe a general feeling of apathy or numbness in one's daily routine or relationships. And I thought it was really interesting coming from a 12-year-old because she clearly got the concept that going through the motions suggests a lack of genuine involvement or meaningful connection. And what I wanted to do was maybe walk through 7 different steps that we could potentially take if all of a sudden we felt this feeling that we were just going through the motions. Because going through the motions can literally impact any sphere of our life, any area in which we're involved. So maybe the first thing that we would want to take a look at is a reflection on the goals or values that we are after. So just taking a step back and taking some time to think about what truly matters to us and what we want to achieve in our lives ultimately helps us identify our goals and helps us align our actions with our values so as to help reignite a sense of purpose and motivation. So for those that are just going through the motions, maybe one first step is just reflecting on one's goals and values. Second area is really finding meaning in the things that we are doing. So looking for the underlying significance or impact of the tasks that we're performing. In the case of my daughter, she was talking about, being in the swimming pool and going to practice and not necessarily feeling like she really wanted to be in the moment of doing her swim practice. Because, by the way, even seemingly mundane or repetitive tasks can have a purpose and contribute to a larger goal. Obviously, we had an opportunity of really taking a look at whether just doing a repetitious act like a practice, if done right, can really lead towards excellence. So focusing on how our efforts are making a difference or helping us grow and develop is really another very important thing. Now, another area that we might want to look at is seeking new challenges. If our routine is monotonous, that certainly contributes to a feeling of going through the motions. But if we look for opportunities to step out of our comfort zone and take on new challenges that push our boundaries and ignite our passion, this could certainly involve learning new skill sets that take a different point, a different project, explore a new area of interest, and that might rekindle some of the things that we are after. Now, this ties in specifically over to another point, and that is cultivating curiosity. So if we approach our tasks and activities with a sense of curiosity and a desire to learn, we might do this by asking questions or exploring new perspectives and seeking deeper understanding. This curious mindset can bring about a sense of engagement and excitement, even in the most routine tasks. We talked about, if you're doing a swim stroke, if you can just hone in on one particular facet of what you're doing, for, say, 25 yards, and then the next 25 yards, you're focusing in on another, that perfect form will come about. Now, another very important area is setting specific goals and milestones to break down, our larger goals into smaller, actionable steps. We now create these morsels that are digestible, and we set specific milestones along the way. Through clear objectives and a sense of progress, that helps people feel a sense of purpose and meaning. Now, another important area is connecting with others. So if we seek opportunities to collaborate and connect with others, colleagues, friends, like-minded individuals who share our interests, that will help engage in, conversations, bouncing thoughts off of one another, working as a team, and infusing a sense of energy and passion into those things that were previously mundane, that just felt like you were just going through the motions. And the last point is one in which we should actually be very specific about how we approach things. Taking breaks and practicing self-care are really important. Avoiding burnout by prioritizing self-care. Regular breaks are really important. There's a reason by which, different jobs, and all jobs, in fact, have specific breaks set in place, lunch hours set in place. Engaging in activities that help us relax, recharge, rejuvenate are very important. Taking care of our physical as well as mental well-being ultimately enhances our overall motivation and enjoyment of daily tasks. So again, it's not abnormal to experience this going through the motions mindset. So it's normal to go through periods where one feels like one is going through just the mundane, the motion, but being mindful. And the abundance mindset is one in which we are seeking new experiences and finding meaning in what we do can counteract that feeling and help us rediscover a sense of purpose and fulfillment. So hopefully through these 7 steps that we just described right now, we might be able to beat that apathy of what going through the motions feels like. I thank you for joining us on this videocast for Gus Alba Perspective. Have an excellent day.